Welcome back to Around the Block Volleyball. We're back this week to talk about the past 2 weeks of VNL volleyball. We have the first week of men's and the second week of women's, so let's get right into it. We're going to start with week 1 of the men's, and it was a very interesting one, I think. Let's just start with game 1. It was versus Ukraine. USA lost 3-0. It was pretty brutal. Our top scorers were Gabby Garcia and Cooper Robinson with 13 points each. But yeah, that was a tough one.
I think this was mainly just a feel-out game, trying to get adjusted to the level of play. Because a lot of these guys, a good amount of them were like they're still in college or they're just out of college, so still trying to adjust to national level play. And I think that was mainly the struggle there. I think them just trying to adjust to the level of play. But
yeah,
I think certain guys still did pretty well. I think Jordan Ewart was someone that was showing the experience that he had.
Definitely very dependable.
Yeah. I think it was Kyle D'Agostino, right? He was the lib. I thought he was trying to step up as like the vocal role, which I thought he was doing pretty well with. But
yeah, I think he was the captain this week. Even,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But I think talking about that struggle, it goes right into the next game, so we can just move into it, because the U.S. did not start off against Iran very well either. It was another brutal start. We lost the first 2 sets, but thankfully somehow we came back for the reverse sweep.
Yeah. I think this is definitely a game where it shows the poise of the team. And again, I think this helps with a leader like Kyle D'Agostino and having Karch. I think building some experience here. It was a crazy one that they were able to bring back and win.
Yeah.
Because, Iran and Amin were just tearing the U.S. up, but, still big-time games from, again, like, Kyle Hobus. I feel like he has been...
This was his coming out game.
Yeah.
I feel like before this, no one really expected. I was on the Gabby Garcia hype train. Kyle Hobus just proved me wrong.
Kyle Hobus has been looking better so far, right? Like, again, the idea was that Gabby Garcia was going to be the guy.
Yeah, he's the
taking
future,
up the opposite,
supposedly.
But Kyle Hobus is making it look like he can do it right now, at least.
Yeah,
with the way that he's been playing. So
he was hitting he was hitting all the shots. Like, it was an amazing performance from him.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, we had Jordan Ewart, Cooper Robinson, obviously top scorers. And then, it was kind of the Kyle Hobus show. And I think we still got to shout out Patrick Gassman, because that last ace, oh my God.
That was so hype. It was very scary. I think everyone was like, oh God, he might miss the serve. And then, lo and behold, he's the one to take it home.
Yeah. That was insane.
Yeah, I was definitely rooting for it. I was like, please. Just ace here so we don't have to deal with anything. Just ace it. No, just go for it. And then it worked out. It was real nice, and it got super hyped up for Team USA, for the men's, get their first win.
Yeah, I think this was a good kind of like turning point for the U.S. I think the vibes were in flux maybe against Ukraine, and even at the start of this Iran game. But I think things started to come together a little bit more. You started to see the team work together a little bit, and it felt like the vibes are up now.
Yeah, this one was definitely a good positive note for the Team USA, especially week 1 with so much new things going on. So this was definitely a good positive for them to refocus for week 1, I guess.
Yeah. So let's move on to the third game of the week. We have the USA versus Slovenia, where the US lost 1-3. It's tough. I feel like the US could have played a little bit better for sure. It still looked sloppy to some end, but Slovenia's, I guess it was a winnable game for sure, but Slovenia's no slouch.
Yeah. And then this is just another game where it kind of shows the depth of Team USA right now. I think obviously Karch is still trying to just experiment with, who's looking good, try out other lineups, see who's doing well. Because Quinn Isaacson has looked pretty good, and obviously Andrew Rowan has also done a pretty good job here. But I think Quinn Isaacson has been a good surprise, I think, especially with his height being a shorter setter, but he's
For
still
sure,
good.
his blocking, I was like, shoot, I guess I underestimated you. I mean, I knew he was a really good setter. I mean, Polish league setter, obviously you have to be super good, but the blocking front, I was like, oh shoot, I did not know you had that like that.
Yeah, and then they tried out a lot of other things, like Nolan Flexen played a little bit this game as well. And then even the middles too, I think it's trying to experiment when it's not Jeff Jendrick, because I feel like that's obviously a lock.
Yeah.
But, you know, Matt Knigge, Merrick McHenry, and then obviously Patrick Gaspin from the game before, just trying to figure out, you know, how these middles play, who maybe might connect a little bit better with each setter. I think that's just going to be huge for them. So
Yeah, I think everyone's still trying to figure out like the connections for sure.
Yeah.
And then let's move on to the final game of the week. Big win for the USA, winning 3-1 against Cuba. It's good to end the week off like this, and it ended us like 50-50.
Yeah.
2-2 is perfect.
Yeah, hitting 2-2 for week one, you feel pretty good.
Yep.
Especially with like the teams that they played, they did what they had to, and I mean this is a big time win for them.
Yeah.
And again, this shows Jeff Jendrick and his experience and the level of play that he can bring in the middle. Like, I feel like you can tell there's a difference with Jeff on the court.
Yeah, I think also he was taking good leadership, especially on the block, kind of like, even when there was mistakes being made, he kind of was correcting. Everyone's like, you need to do this. I think, yeah, everyone, especially the college players still, the game's moving so much faster that you kind of need to adapt a little differently. So I think Jeff Jendrick there, it's good that they had him for leadership on that this week.
I don't remember what game it was, but there was definitely a point where
With Cooper Robinson?
Yeah, the Cooper Robinson play where, I mean, he was playing really well, but then
I think it was this game.
He got caught up in the middle, and then Jeff Jendrick, you could see the frustration, but then he also like reeled it back in, realizing like, no, I have to be a leader here. I have to help the guys out.
This is like a teaching moment.
This is how we are trying to stay on our blocks here and don't get sucked in. Do what you have to do. And I mean, that was a really good moment to try and see a younger guy, but still more experienced, try and help out the really young guys on the team.
Yeah, definitely need it with how young some of these players are adapting to this speed, especially because Cooper Robinson is going to play pro now. I think this is a good start, getting adapted to that before he heads to wherever he's heading.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that breakdown was on blocking, but then he still did really well blocking wise. Like he had four block points. Like
yeah, I think it's when he got there, it was good.
Yeah,
it's just he kept getting like caught up in kind of
and the reads. I think he was thinking too much.
I think he like stuck. Maybe it's like something from college, but I think he stuck on the setter a lot. Almost as if he was up against Moni, ready to see that Moni swing or something. But the right sides at this level get run so fast that you have to just be ready for both, I guess. And I think now we can just move on to talking about our Week 1 MVP for the U.S. Of course, we were just talking a little bit negative about Cooper Robinson's performance, but he is our MVP.
Hands down. I think there was a lot of growing moments for him, but he showed that he was ready for the moment, and he kept stepping up and he kept on improving, and he stuck into the game and he was still playing, because it's definitely not easy when he has to do pretty much everything on the court, and he still had some pretty good games here and there. So definitely a shout out to Cooper.
I think he is absolutely the future for USA Volleyball on the left side.
Yeah.
I think with more experience, especially because he's going pro, he will grow to have everything in his arsenal. I think he's already pretty much there. He's learning so much.
Yeah, I think he just has to get used to the speed of the game.
Yeah.
And
I think every player has to go through that.
Yeah, so I think that's okay, just because I mean, he's been holding his own in like pretty much every facet of the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's shown that he can make the jump with how he played week 1. And this is only the start. I mean, he's only played 4 games.
Yeah.
So I think it's just looking up from here, just because, I mean, he really is going to be looked at to probably play in LA. I would say that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
So
I think especially when you're trying to bring 4 outsides, I mean, of course we're going to have like TJ, Aaron Russell.
Yeah.
Probably as the main two, actually.
Yeah, but you need some young guys that, I mean, who knows how good he's going to be in 3 years.
Yeah, still a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a lot of time for him to get better. And now that he's going pro, he's not playing that extra year college. I mean, who knows how good he's going to be.
Yeah, these are perfect signs. Cooper Robinson has absolutely earned our MVP vote. And then now let's just talk about USA men's week 1 as a whole. I think my overall take on this week is that it was actually a really, really good learning week. I feel like I saw a lot of improvements as the games were going on. I mean, obviously we had the really bad start against Ukraine, just that whole game, and then Iran, everything started to come together a little bit more. So I think I could see improvements getting used to the speed a little bit more as we go. The blocking, I think, especially from the younger middles, got better for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the last bit of improvement I saw really was, I think early on, everyone was afraid more to take harder swings or good swings against a big block. I think the same thing happened to women's, where there's a lot of tipping going on or trying to roll shot it to certain spots.
Yeah.
At this high of a level, you can't do that. And I think the US men really, really got into that. So I think that was super good from the improvement side.
Yeah, and again, I think there's just a lot of questions for me on, how the roster is going to build out towards the later ends of the VNL. Because again, like Quinn Isaacson has looked so good, but then I kind of thought, oh, Andrew Rowan, obviously Micah Ma'a, when the time comes, he's going to be playing. But I mean, Quinn Isaacson has been a great surprise, and the big one is Kyle Hovis. He has looked so good on the right side. There's still Kyle Ensing, but Kyle Hovis has looked really, really nice. So a lot of good things, honestly, for me to take away for the roster-wise. And then the games, I feel like going 2-2 here for week 1, when it's pretty much all new guys, I feel like you feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good, and hopefully we'll only see more improvement when we're headed into Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
It's a home team.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking forward to how week 2 roster is going to look. I think that'll be really fun, just to see, who else are we bringing in? Because week 2 women's was also very fun to see. The new people get slotted into the roster.
Yep, a lot of people are probably going to be coming out of rest. I think especially because we are in the U.S., I'm pretty sure it's already confirmed we're going to see Eric Shoji.
Yeah.
I think he said that somewhere already. And then I'm hoping we can see Micah Ma. I mean, I just want as many of the main guys we can get that were on this roster just to play at home. We want to build up the hype for men's volleyball in the U.S. home crowd.
Yeah, and it'll be really fun if those guys are playing, just to see how they mesh with the younger guys. I think that'll be really cool for these games and for this week. So we'll have to keep our eyes open for that one.
Yeah, and I think last thing, just on that same note, Eric Shoji being a passing mentor for the younger outsides now on the court with them. Obviously he's in the gym with them, helping them that way, but I think it's different in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
The U.S. passing wasn't that great this week.
Yeah, and I think the responsibilities in serve receiver are going to be huge, because I think that's going to be a huge thing, that he can definitely put his foot down and help the guys out. Just because Kyle D'Agostino and Mason Briggs are very good as well, but it's Eric Shoji. I mean,
It's Eric Shoji.
He's got the experience, the most experience out of the guys to, really nail down the serve receiver.
He's also one of the best liberos in the world.
Yeah. And I don't even mean they're going to pass way better when they have him, but it's just understanding responsibilities and stuff like that. And even on defense, I think that's just going to be really big for them. So
yeah,
I can't wait to see him play. So I'm hoping soon.
Yes, very exciting. But let's just move on to general men's VNL week 1 now. Any other teams that came up? Very surprising, very fun. I guess we can just start off with Poland. I mean, 4-0, only 4-0 team.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been so good.
Yeah, I mean, they have one of the top 2 leagues in the world for men's volleyball, and they showed it because this was basically their B team, kind of.
Yeah, they didn't even bring out the big guns, and they're still rolling over teams.
Yeah, absolutely chilling. Yeah, Poland, very good. Even if they played some worse teams, I guess.
Yeah.
Who else do you want to talk about?
Japan. I think Japan has been a very good surprise given the guys that were playing, and it's not all of the main guys.
I mean, it was mostly the young.
Yeah.
A lot of them were really young, I think.
I think the one that a lot of people already know is Miura.
Yeah.
But he's been pretty much the right side guy that's been right behind Nishida for for now. So
yeah, even interchangeable almost. When
Yeah.
it's just whoever's having a better day, they're like, all right, let's let this guy play.
Yeah, and Miura has clearly shown that he's still that good, and he's getting better. But the rest of Japan was looking really solid.
Yeah.
Again, without their main guys, they still looked like they were taking care of business. So
3-1, very, very good record.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do for the rest of VNL here.
I think then we can also talk about Bulgaria. I mean,
This is the main one, man.
yeah.
I mean, it is crazy to see brothers playing on the court like that and how good they are.
I mean, when they are like, maybe not the number 1 and 2 options, but top 3 for sure on that team.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they have, I think it's a Petkov.
Petkov, the middle.
Yeah, he's
and
the
captain.
other guy.
Yeah.
But they are 2 of the top 3 players on that team, and they're just doing some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can see that Alex Nikolov has the experience already to be that number 1 outside for this team. I think it'll be really interesting how it goes with Simeon now, because now that he's playing with the team more full time. So because Simeon has looked really good. I think you can see like frustration between the two just because of the way that week 1 went, even though they still went 2-2.
Yeah.
But just some growing pains, I guess, getting used to the team and stuff like that. But I thought they looked pretty good. Simeon is still doing his same
Can't say Nikolov anymore.
But Simeon is still doing his super aggressive play at the net, and then his serving has still been just as good.
Oh yeah,
which
absolutely
is crazy
elite.
that it's transitioned so easily, and now it's like, oh damn, he was really just hitting the college players with pro level serving.
Elite pro level serving.
Yeah, so there's no way that they were gonna be able to pass it because these guys can't pass it, and this is the VNL.
Yeah, this is at that point you just have to laugh damn, he was really just rocking kids with this serve.
Yeah, but I mean, both of those guys have been really solid for them, so it is fun to watch. I can't lie, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I think the only sad part for them is you could definitely tell that they were getting a little bit more gassed by the end of the week, but that's just because they're the main options. They're doing so much for them.
Yeah.
I think I forget who the right side is off the top of my head, but I think he was playing pretty good relatively. But yeah, Bulgaria, just a fun team to watch, especially if nothing else, the Nikolov brothers. Any other teams to talk about? I guess we can mention Canada because they're our neighbors up north.
Yeah.
And they were hosting, so they had a good week. They look good.
Yeah.
Names to easily recognize. We got Skylar Varga playing.
Yeah, he played a little bit.
Yeah.
He still did really well.
Did well, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
Canada's
definitely
been
fun.
good.
Yeah, definitely funny when Canada's playing Bulgaria and then Skylar Varga and Simeon are playing each other.
They're just hamming it up.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, bro?
I think another one is Brazil and Italy are also still doing really well too. Just
as
really
expected.
quickly. Yeah. Those teams, you expect them to do well. And they did bring some of their guys, so
Yeah.
for this week 1. So they did what they were supposed to do. I think they both went 3-1.
Gianelli did not want any rest. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, he was down to play.
Sure, bro.
I did love his interview that he had after he played some of the younger setters that are really good right now. So, and he was like, yeah, I'm not that young anymore, even though he's still pretty young, but compared to these guys when they're 19, 20, I mean, it's kind of funny to see when Gianelli, not that long ago, felt like he was the young setter coming up that's, trying to be one of the best in the world. So
Yep.
he's still doing his thing. Yeah, not getting rest, but I mean, he's still balling out. So
Yeah. So very fun. Hopefully we get a lot more fun this upcoming week. Chicago.
yeah,
It's gonna be hype. But let's move on to the women's. It was week 2.
Week 2, and then just quick note before the games was the new additions to the roster. Dana Recchi was slotted into it. And then Lexi Rodriguez was also put into the lineup. And, of course, some extra experience there was Breon Butler, which was very good to see. She made her impact for week 2, for sure.
Yep. All right, then. Let's go straight into the games. First game was versus Serbia. 5-setter. U.S. wins. Awesome.
Yeah, this was a great way to kick off their week 2 after it was a lot of critics not liking it, and it was very up and down, I guess we can say, for week 1. But week 2, it started off well, winning against Serbia. Again, I don't think the offense looked very good, but Maddie Skinner was out there still doing her thing. She had
elite.
Yeah, she had 30 kills. Sarah Franklin has still been really, really solid. I think there's still some learning that she's getting from, how to get kills, how to be aggressive. Because, she's going to get a lot of the sets that are not that good.
Yep.
So she still had 18 kills. It was really good for her. And then she was playing good defense. And in serve receive, she did really well, which is stuff that you want to see from her.
That is what we need. We are missing that right now.
Yeah, going into, a kind of newer regime of outsides for Team USA. And I mean, she's been looking very well-rounded so far. Lexi Rodriguez, she was able to debut. It was a very good debut. She played some really good defense, 17 digs. I think it's interesting to see, maybe how the leadership and just how vocal she is. I think that'll be interesting to see going forward. Just because, I mean, it's Lexi Rodriguez, man. She's so freaking good, but you just want to see how she can communicate on the court too.
Yeah, and one note for Lexi, I think I like her second touch when she needs to take it. I think she does good with the setting. I think that's something that the U.S. definitely struggled with, whether it was Morgan Hens or anyone else taking the second hands.
Yeah,
I feel like that was one of the things where it was leading to a lot of like tips or roll shots, but I think Lexi did a good job of giving swingable balls.
Yeah, she has good control on taking the out of system balls, so that's definitely a good addition when she's out there.
Yep. So now let's go on to game 2 versus Poland. It was a loss. It was a 3-1 loss, but Poland's a good team, and I think there's still good takeaways from this.
Yeah. I mean, they won the first set, which was actually pretty nice. I thought that was a good indication of how they were going to do. But Poland obviously came back, and they did their thing.
I mean, they're good.
Yeah. I mean, Poland's super good. I think it really showed the serve and pass game, and we've been mentioning it since week 1. Serve and pass has been the name of the game, and they were definitely struggling in serve receive there, and I think that was the thing that made it the most difficult. And me personally, I feel like I want to see Morgan Hens try and take more balls if she can.
Agree.
I know it's not easy in serve receive because, I mean, these women are serving the ball real fast. You don't have a lot of time to do it, but it would be nice if Morgan Hens can somehow get some more of those balls just to shore up the passing a little bit.
Yeah, just take up more area because I think our outsides, that is, I think, the weakest part of basically every outside we have fielded. The weakest part of their game is serve receive.
And I'm only saying that because we know how good Morgan Hens is.
Yeah.
So if she can do that, I think that would help the team out a lot. But it's a lot of new teammates and stuff. You're trying to figure out your boundaries and how much court you can take and stuff like that, and the communication. So that's definitely hard. Logan Eggleston had a really good attacking game, 22 kills.
Her arm is legit.
In the loss. Yeah. And then she did pretty well overall too, so pretty good game for Logan Eggleston.
Yep.
Breon Butler, she ended up showing up there, and she was really good. I think she was showing her experience for the team.
Doing exactly what we expected.
Yeah, I mean, playing defense and getting kills. 5 kills, 6 blocks, 2 aces even, so definitely a good outing for Breon Butler there.
Yep. And then we can move on to game 3 versus the Netherlands. Much easier game for us, a 3-0 win. Very good to see, especially with all the criticism coming in. Give us a big 3-0 win. Make us look a little bit more dominant.
Yeah, good statement game too. Just take care of business here. Take the sweep. And again, I think this is a good game that was done by committee. I think like there's a lot of players that had a very
Everyone
good game
was
here.
popping off.
Yeah, Logan Eggleston had a really, really good game. Super efficient, 13 kills, 1 block, and then really good passing as well. Dana Recchi, she showed that I think she's making some strides. She's getting better.
She's faster for sure now.
Yeah. I mean, she had 11 kills. She was showing off the slide that we were seeing at Wisconsin. That was looking so good. So she definitely had a good game there. And Maddie Skinner and Sarah Franklin still had really good games here too. Both 10 and 9 kills. Maddie had 2 blocks, which I think has been really good to see from her on the right side, that her blocking is carrying over. And I think that's going to be really important, especially if she's going to play right side.
Yep.
And then a little note, Rachel Fairbanks did make her debut. It wasn't really to do too much. She didn't start, but she did play a little bit here, and it's exciting to see like a really young player still get some touches, especially as a setter. I feel like that's definitely a really hard position to transition to.
Yeah, the level
Yeah.
jump is very big.
Yeah.
You have to figure out the game, the way the speed is going for the game.
Yeah.
It's tough.
But I think with that experience that she had with League One has definitely helped her. So
Yeah.
more to come from Rachel Fairbanks, hopefully.
Yep. And let's move on to game 4. It was a battle, to say the least.
Oh my lord.
5-setter win versus France. It was tough. It was a little scary at many points.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. won the first 2 sets.
Yeah.
And then almost gave up the reverse sweep.
Whew.
But they clutched up. They showed a little bit of experience, a little bit of poise. I think this is actually, this works out perfectly for Eric Sullivan, Coach Eric Sullivan. I think he was talking about how when they blew one, I think in week 1, that that there's still some experience to be gained from a match like that. And hey, this is exactly what happened.
Finally winning a 5-set. Let's go.
Yeah, you're about to give up the reverse sweep, but then you clutch up. I think Logan Eggleston had like a really good 5th set, and then they were able to take it home. I mean, Maddie Skinner, 19 kills, pretty decent efficiency. Sarah Franklin, 18, and Logan Eggleston, 17. So your 3 pins doing what you need them to do, putting the ball away. So able to end the week on a really good note here.
Yes,
right?
Looking good.
Going
and,
3-1.
yeah.
3-1 for the week is very, very good.
Yeah.
This definitely is a good showing for week 2.
Yep. Especially since the expectations were definitely much lower
After week 1.
last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah. But this is a really good bounce back. Hopefully going to be looking good going into next week, I think, in Texas.
Yeah.
So very, very exciting for the U.S. And now let's see who was the MVP for the week 2 for the women's.
I think it has to be Maddie Skinner.
Yeah.
There is a close race, I would say, with Logan Eggleston and Sarah Franklin. I think they both did really well, but Maddie Skinner has really shown that she can be that right side that can take over a game, which is, again, what Team USA has been needing, what they've been wanting to kind of compete against these other countries that have been looking so insane with right sides that can just put the ball away like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And Maddie Skinner has been showing that she can kind of do that. She's still working her way up there, but she's been doing pretty damn well. So
Yeah, no, I legitimately think she has one of the best back row attacks that
God.
the U.S. has available to them, including players that aren't playing VNL.
yeah. I mean, on this team right now, it's definitely the best pick. I feel like it's a very good option for Team USA when they're in system and even in serve receive. Like, they look really good when she's able to hit a pick.
Yeah.
So, that's even more for Maddie Skinner that she's been doing really well with, because her serving has been pretty solid. Her blocking has been really good. So a lot of good things from Maddie Skinner.
Yep. Completely earned the MVP. But now let's just talk about the U.S. thoughts about the week overall. We kind of gave it at the end of Game 4 talk, but I guess any big things coming from the team this week versus last?
I think the serve and pass game has gotten a little bit better, but it still shows like it's rearing its ugly head in the worst moments possible. That's definitely still something that they need to work on.
Yeah.
Which is okay, because they still ended up winning 3 matches out of the 4. So they're still doing stuff right, but to look to improve, I think that's definitely the main thing, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a really big contrast coming from the past few cycles of USA Volleyball where we had probably some of the best passers in the game.
Yeah, absolute nails.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsey Robinson-Cook and Jordan Larson are just straight up dimes every time. So
Yeah, so it is a big contrast. Maybe it's just something to learn for the team, and I'm sure they're going to get there all extremely young still.
yeah.
A lot to improve on, but it looked better this week. Definitely last week I was like, ooh, we are getting aced a little bit too much.
Yeah, and personally I was impressed with how Sarah Franklin came out. I thought
Agree.
it was like a really tough week one. Not personally for her, just because of the team. It was a lot of stuff to deal with for week one and her first VNL. But week two, she responded really well. I thought her defense and serve receive was a lot better. And her offense is still continuing to improve, which I'm not that worried about. I think her offense is going to get there. I think it's just how well she like serve receive and play defense. And this is definitely a really good week two for her. So definitely feel good about that.
Yeah. Anything else for the U.S.? I guess this goes for both men's and women's. I think seeing how Karch has been handling the way that the team's been going, I think he looks crazy. Like we can see so much improvement going on. I can really, really feel it for him. For the women's, I'm feeling it a little bit less, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. I mean, it could be the men were just able to adapt much faster to the game. Like, it could be players, but I'm hoping to see faster adaptation to the level for the women's, just like we are with the men's, because the men really got up there, and I want to see the women do the same. Hopefully get playoffs. They're in the fight for it now.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, I think for Eric Sullivan, it is like a newer role for him. I mean, he was definitely doing really good work at Texas, but I think this is just a different beast. I think he's ready for it, though. Like, I think this is his first time, so there's stuff to learn for him as well. And then the team, I think they've been improving, so we'll have to see. I think we can really give a better opinion on that, like week 4, like after VNL is over. Then it'll feel, we'll feel a lot better about how Team USA is going to look for LA. But
playing at home for sure will be a big test next week.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think there's some good things to take away for Team USA for the women's, but the men's right now is definitely looking really, really good, even though 2-2. And then the women's, it's like it's kind of funny because like we say all that, and then their record is pretty good.
I mean, they're now 4-4 with
that's
11
not bad.
points.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. So we'll have to see. I think if there's even more improvement, if they just keep on getting better throughout the weeks, then I think that's the most you can ask for.
Yeah, this is basically what the VNL is for the U.S. Both genders this time. We just want to see improvement, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about general women's Week 2 VNL thoughts. What I wanted to talk about, if you can just talk about it real quick, because it's just more of a funny thing, is this relegation race is absolutely crazy. If you don't know, the bottom team in the VNL will get relegated. So they'll get removed and replaced by a team in the Challenger Cup. Right now, we're looking at Serbia, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they have no Boskovic.
Yeah.
Which is obviously huge because she's one of the best players in the world.
But you wouldn't expect them to have 0 wins here.
0 wins. It's kind of unacceptable generally.
Yeah.
I mean,
and for the team too, right? Like their standard is definitely not to be down there. So
yeah, and I mean the fact that Korea is above you that's also crazy.
Yeah, because Korea is going through their huge, like, switching of the roster. Like the roster looks so complete. There's a lot of stuff going on for Korea, and then the fact that Serbia is below them, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not great.
I mean, if we're not able to see one of the best players in the world at next year's VNL because of this, I don't know what to say. And honestly, not to flame Korea too much because they have had a lot of bright spots this year. It's just, I think relative to a lot of the competition, they are looking weaker. So I don't know if I want to see them next year in particular. I think there are teams that could take that spot that would be nice to see.
Yeah.
So that's just a crazy thing just for the relegation race. We have Serbia, Korea, Thailand, and then Canada, I guess, all at the bottom.
Yeah.
I think Canada will be okay. I hope Serbia will be okay, but not as of right now, not.
Yeah, right now it doesn't look like it, but week 3 will have to be huge for them to try and avoid that, I would say.
Yeah. And then at the
Italy?
top, Italy. We have Italy at the top, Poland, Brazil, Turkey, Japan, China, all about who we thought for that top upper echelon.
Yeah.
The only thing I do want to mention for Italy is there was that big thing that happened in Italy versus China where Paola Egonu kind of did this weird call over to the Chinese young player after I guess they made contact on the net.
Yeah.
On review, I guess the Chinese player she blocked Paola.
Yeah.
But they both stepped kind of on the line, which is legal for both teams. But I think the way that Paola Egonu went about it just didn't feel right. I think a lot of people are against it. There is a lot of debate about it because, I mean, it's good to say, but just I think the way that she went about it was not great.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, she got carded for it, so there is a thing.
Yeah, I understand the concern and why you get mad about that stuff, but I don't know. Yeah,
the whole thing.
The way it looked, it did not look good.
Yeah, where
it did not look good.
The Chinese player, she's like a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
She was just celebrating that she blocked one of the best players, maybe the best player in the world.
Yeah.
And then you have that same player calling you back, being like, "Hey, get over here. I need to talk to you."
Yeah.
It doesn't sit right with me, but it happened. What happened. Hopefully, we don't see anything like that again.
Yeah, and I just don't think there's any place for that in the VNL.
Yeah, I mean, I do like when players are chirpy under the net, but this one didn't feel like being chirpy. It kind of really felt like.
I mean, she was definitely
I'm gonna put you in your place.
It.
People are saying bullying. I don't think it's that far, but it was just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that can wrap it up for the women's VNL Week 2. And let's move on to the Rally Round. Welcome to the Rally Round, where we play all of our drafts, blind rankings, and other games. This week, we're going to start off with a draft again. We're doing a VNL roster draft battle where we have one player from each country again, just like we did for the women's. Let's draft teams using the VNL men's players from week 1. All right, I'm first pick this time. So for my first pick, I'm going to take Trevor Clevenot from France. France is the reigning Olympic champions. He's on that roster for a good reason. Played amazing defense and amazing offense. Taking him from my outside.
Yeah, he's been nuts. He's been nuts.
Yeah.
I think for me, I have to take a guy that has been really, really solid for them. I'm going to take Ilya Kovalov from Ukraine. I think as an outside, he has been really, really solid as a hitter. He's been doing really well. And on serve receive, he has been diming passes too. So get one of my outsides as well. I'm just going to take him. I'm going to take Alex Nikolov as my other outside.
Good pick.
He's shown why he was that good for Long Beach back then, and he's still doing that in the pros.
For my next pick, I'm going to take my setter here. Let me take Simone Gianelli from Italy. What do I need to say? One of the best setters in the world.
Yeah.
He played this week. Thank God. For my libero, I'm going to take Chu Zongshui from China. I think he's been a huge surprise. I mean, I don't think anyone expected too much from China, but I think he's been a really great libero. And in general, China's been performing a lot better than expected. So I think he'd do great in my libero spot.
I think I'll take one of my middles here. I'm going to take Simon Torwi, the big man. I think my right side will be Mikhail Ayi as my right side from the Netherlands.
Good pick still. One of their more standout players for sure. Alrighty, now we're on to my picks, and think I'm feeling good about everything I have left. For my opposite, give me Kento Miura from Japan. Super electric, and I think I want a very strong serving team anyways, so he can add to that. And then to keep up with strong serving, give me Marlon Yant from Cuba. Another very, very strong serve, very strong swing.
Yeah.
And since he can be hard hitting, and I already have Trevor Klevno, plays great defense, confident in my defense still.
All right, I think someone has to have some Team USA representation. I'll take Jeff Jendrick. He still showed that he still got it even with these young guys on Team USA, but he's still looking real solid offensively and defensively. He's still getting plenty of blocks. For my setter, I'm going to take Fernando from Brazil. He's definitely dimes up for Brazil right now, and they've been really good.
So I only have the middle position left. So first of all, give me Yuri Semeniuk from Ukraine. He is their guy. Absolute monster. One of the best middles in the world, I believe. He also did rock the US, so...
We did see that firsthand.
And then for my final middle, give me Ilya Petkov from Bulgaria. He's the captain. He is one of their other big options offensively for that team. And I think he's a great blocker too, so get him on my team.
And to round it out, for my libero, I'm going to take Benjamin Diaz from France. I've really liked him because he's been kind of just stuck behind the best libero in the world. So, but he's shown that he can really mess around and do well. So
yeah, let's just review our teams real quick, just so you guys remember. For my setter, I have Simone Gianelli from Italy. My outsides are Trevor Klevno from France and Marlon Yant from Cuba. My middle blockers are Yuri Semeniuk from Ukraine and Ilya Petkov from Bulgaria. My opposite is Kento Miura from Japan, and my libero is Chu Zongshuai from China.
Yeah. And for my team, I have Fernando from Brazil as my setter. I have Ilya Kovalov and Alex Nikolov from Ukraine and Bulgaria. My middles are Simon Torwi from Germany and Jeff Jendrick from USA. My opposite is Mikel Ayi from the Netherlands and Benjamin Diaz as my libero from France. A lot of really good guys that we can't pick just because it's hard when you only pick one from each country.
Yeah.
Also we're going based off week one. Like certain guys like Darlin only played he played in all the games, but he really only played in 2.
Yeah.
He's really good, obviously. You'd want to look at him from Brazil for sure.
Yeah, Italy also... They're Italy.
Yeah.
And everyone... They have a deep roster, so it's they had players just playing 2 games each, taking breaks, doing whatever. I think it was a very good draft, very fun.
Mm-hmm. Fun to get a lot of the other guys from different countries.
Yeah, great rosters here, but let's move on. Next, I think we have predicting rosters. This week, we only have one, and it's going to be done by you. You have Wisconsin this week.
Yeah.
So.
We're doing a little slow burn here, right? Yeah. We got a lot of time until...
Let's take our time.
We got a lot of time until the women's season starts up. There's plenty of other teams that you guys have been suggesting for us to do. There's a couple of teams that I still want to do myself, so still more to come. We're not done, but...
Hey, I still got one that no one else will care about, but I want to do it for me.
But Wisconsin is a very interesting one because of the players that have graduated out. Right, there's a lot of players. Right,
big movement.
Sarah Franklin is gone. Julia Orgel is not there anymore, and Anna Smrek is also gone. So there's a lot of changes here. And the last second change was Lola Schumacher.
Yeah,
she transferred to UCLA.
Randomly decided to leave. Who do you think is going to be the starting 7 for Wisconsin?
To start it off, the lock for me is Charlie Furbringer. She was the setter last year, All-American. AVCA Region Freshman of the Year, and she was a freshman, and she is so good for Wisconsin. So that's a lock right there for the setter.
100%.
My OH1 has to be Mimi Collier. She's a transfer from Oregon. She was the one that was dogging everyone in the Big Ten when Oregon came over, and Mimi Collier has been so good. She's an All-American as well, and also an AVCA Region Player of the Year. So she's going to be that go-to hitter that's pretty much going to try and play like Sarah Franklin, play the role of Sarah Franklin. They still play differently, but she's really good. She can play full rotations, can pass, defense, and she can swing the heck out of the ball. So
I'm excited to see her swing.
yeah, it's going to be really fun to have Mimi Collier there. And the OH2 is going to be really tough. To me, I think it's going to be Grace Egan or Madison Quest. You can also throw in Una Vahegic. I think those three, it's kind of tough to say just because they're pretty much all freshmen. And then Grace Egan she played at Ohio State 1 year before. So it's a lot of new faces for that outside role. But I gave Grace Egan the spot for OH2 just to start because of the experience that she has. And she's a solid passer and she can still attack well. Where Madison Quest, she's a freshman. She's definitely one of the best outside hitters that we can look at as a freshman here. But to start off, I think Grace Egan, also because she's been playing a good amount in the spring games so far. And then for middle one, I went with Carter Booth. I think this one's pretty much a lock as well. She was one of the middles last year. I think they were kind of in flux trying to figure out their middles. They kind of had like 3 going through. But Carter Booth is still there. This is going to be her 3rd season at Wisconsin. As a former All-American, she's been great for them in the past, and she'll be really good for the front line of Wisconsin again here. Then middle 2, I think Alicia Andrew, I think they call her Allie Andrew, is the transfer from Baylor as a graduate, and she's been a really solid middle blocker. And she can kind of slot in with good experience playing 4 years at Baylor to play really good offense and have solid blocking as well at the net. But there are freshmen that are coming in. Tosa Serafinoska, I'll pretend that that's right. Sorry if I butchered
pretty
that.
good, honestly.
She's a freshman who has already made her presence known as a strong blocker in the spring games. And I think she's from Poland. She's been lights out so far, so definitely some competition here for the other middle as well. And then another freshman that hasn't played yet in the spring games because she's joining in the summer is Natalie Wardlow. I think she'll also be kind of interesting to see as a freshman, see how she develops. Not sure how much they're going to play with Allie Andrew coming in, but I'm sure they'll still get some playing time here and there. And then the opposite. This is another... Wisconsin is going through a lot of changes here. So this is another spot that's going to be kind of difficult to see what happens here. But for me, I think it might be Addie Horner. She's the one that is kind of a 6'2" hybrid. She's a setter and she was a hitter as well in high school. So she's going to be a good freshman coming in that I think can play as a right side as well. It's going to be difficult to predict this though, just because the team is so young. And then I think Madison Quest here can also play right side. I think she's been already playing a little bit of right side in the spring games. Badger fans, you can probably let me know. But I think she can look to play either pin here as a really good freshman hitter. So she can definitely get some playing time on either pin for the Badgers. And then the libero. This one is going to be tough after Lola Schumacher's gone.
Out of nowhere!
But the graduate transfer, Jada Carniglia, also going to... I hope that I said that right. I probably didn't. She came from Northern Illinois. She brings in a lot of experience, right? She played 4 years at Northern Illinois. And also a really fun fact, her whole family is pretty much embedded with Wisconsin. So that's actually really cool that she's coming over and she's going to be able to play, kind of carry on that tradition.
Hopefully a fan favorite.
Yeah, and I think to me right now, that's who I would have as the libero. I think it's interesting though because Miley Chan was also a DS from last year that was playing a good amount. And then I think she can get some time as a DS or libero. I think she already played a spring game as one of the liberos, so definitely interesting to see. Una Vahegic, I kind of mentioned her earlier as an outside, but she did also play as a libero during the spring games, so we'll have to see how that goes there. And then 2 freshmen coming in. Ania Warren and Kristen Simon are liberos that will come in for the summer. And I think the one to look out for is Ania Warren. She was the #1 ranked libero in the nation, class of 2025. This is by Prep Dig, so you can do with that what you will. But I think there's a lot of good things looking for Wisconsin here. It is very new though, so I think that's
retooling year.
Yeah, that's something that Kelly Sheffield, we're gonna have to see how he navigates that with a lot of new talent coming in. But the base is still there for what you would expect from a Wisconsin team as of late, with a really good setter, really good OH1, and some really good middles in there. So it'll be really interesting to see how they develop. But that's what I have for Wisconsin.
Yep. So let us know what you guys think. And again, let us know what other teams you want to see from us. I think we've done a handful so far, but still many to go.
Yeah, I think big ones to look at is like Kentucky.
Kentucky for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of other really good teams that are going to look very different. Like Stanford was another one that like was really good last year. They're going to look very different as well.
A lot of graduates there.
Yeah.
But yep, just let us know. We'll get to them eventually. We got a lot of time still. But let's move on now. We're back at it with some blind rankings. Just like for the women's where we did VNL performances, we're going to do some blind rankings for men's performances.
Yes. All right, so this time I'm going to ask you about them. Blind rank these VNL men's performances from week 1.
There we go.
At your first one, we have Amin from Iran in the 5-set loss against Team USA, where he had 30 points, 25 kills on 52%, 1 block, 4 aces, and 6 digs. Amin was absolutely tearing up the US, trying to get the win.
That is a tough one.
But they ended up losing.
Yeah, they did lose. They did get reverse swept.
Yeah.
So I'll give him, I mean, it's still an insane performance, but because of the loss and because it was a reverse sweep, I'll give him a 3 here.
Okay.
So not too low, but I still have to acknowledge how great it is.
All right, let's see. Let's see if you feel good about that.
Yeah.
And then your next one is going to be from Ayi from the Netherlands. In the 4-set win against Turkey, he had 31 points, 27 kills on 51% efficiency, 2 blocks, 2 aces, and 6 digs as well.
Shoot.
Another crazy game
another
from
crazy
Ayi
one.
in 4 sets.
That is
crazy.
actually, in 4 sets, that's actually disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't want to flame anyone that hard, but these are 2 of the lower ranked teams here. I'll put this one at a 4 right now, even though the performance, crazy.
Yeah. The performance is insane. But it is Netherlands versus Turkey. No shade on them, but that's just how it is.
They're just 1 win each, so.
Up next, you have Miljanovic from Slovenia in the 5-set win against Iran. He had 30 points, 23 kills on 40%, 4 blocks, 3 aces, and 9 digs. This guy was doing everything.
I think this is a comfortable 2. I like this at 2. High level play from both teams anyways, so yeah. I think this is a good 2. And I mean, he was at the head of it, so.
Up next, you have Alex Nikolov from Bulgaria. The 5-set win against Germany. He had 28 points, 24 kills on 51%, 3 blocks, an ace, and 6 digs.
See, the thing is we've gotten a lot of 30-pointers already, so I'm hoping you got 1 more in store. I do love watching me some Nikolov brothers, but I'm gonna have to put him at 5.
Woo! Oh man, Nikolov haters, Long Beach haters. And then that leaves your number 1 spot. You did it again. We have Mendarachi from Turkey. It was only a 3-set win against China, but he had 24 points, 17 kills, 45%, 2 blocks, 5 aces, and 5 digs. I mean, 24 points, he literally won them a set in 3 sets.
In a 3-setter, that is actually filthy.
Yeah, so...
Nasty work. Nasty work.
He was not messing with China. He did not want to have fun. He ended that game real fast.
Yeah, and the Chinese team is
pretty good.
Solid. Yeah. Beating the expectations, but not this game. Not the worst ranking from me.
Not bad.
I think there could have still been a little bit of moving around, maybe, but
yeah, it depends on how much you weight the loss from Amin. Because it was a crazy game, but then he was the only guy that ended up losing their match. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to tax it that way, but it's tough. These are all really crazy games.
Yeah, great games from everyone. This is really tough to blind rank. Alrighty, but that'll take us on to our next and final segment of the week. We're doing Name the Stat Leaders for the VNL so far. So obviously for the men versus the women's, it's going to be a little different because the men, it's only 1 week. Women, it's been 2 weeks. So could be very interesting with 2 weeks of stats. So we're actually going to be doing service aces. Can you name the top 5 VNL leaders in service aces for the women's?
I feel like I have like 3 off the dome that should be pretty easy, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right. I think number 1 has to be her, Kiara Van Rijk, right?
Yep, that is number 1. She has 15 service aces. And keep in mind, she did not play this week 2.
I know.
So
That is so crazy.
that's 15 service aces in 1 week of play. Like, everyone else has played more than her. This is crazy.
Yeah, and she's still up there.
Yep.
Oh my god, Canada. She's crazy.
Elite.
And then I think another one that I have to put up there is Lukashik from Turkey? From Poland, sorry.
From Poland. Yep, she's there at number 2. She has 13 aces so far, 76
Damn.
service attempts, and it's actually a 3-way tie for second.
Okay.
So, 2 other people with 13.
Okay. And then the other one I was going to say was Mayu Ishikawa.
Ishikawa's there. She's tied at number 2. She has 13 aces.
Crazy.
Yeah, makes sense, especially when you watch the Japanese teams. They serve hard.
On the topic, I want to say Yoshino.
Yoshino did not crack the top 5.
Ah.
I think she's somewhere around 10. She has 9 service aces,
Damn.
so she is close.
Damn. Oh man, okay.
The next 2 will be a little bit tougher.
He's surfing up aces.
For some of the teams, you can look to some top players.
Is he going there?
She did not make it. She has 5, so
okay.
not too bad, but
Yeah, not that many of them.
the first week she missed a bunch of games, so.
Yeah, that's true,
Happens.
that's true.
You want some teams?
Yeah, many teams.
One of them is from Czechia, and the other one's from France.
Oh. How about Ndaye from France?
Ndaye snuck in at number 5 with 12 service aces, so
Damn.
still very close.
Damn. And then after that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Czechia, I'm not sure if either of us watched too much of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And the last one, tied at that number 2 spot, is Kulisiani from Czechia. She also had 13 on 90 attempts. Oh my god, if she had 19. But, yep, that's the top 5
Damn.
service ace leaders for the VNL women's after 2 weeks. Pretty tough.
Kiera Van Rijk is like that.
Yeah, 1
My
week
God.
of play, she's still at the top, and she has a 2 ace lead still.
And then we'll switch it for the men's now. Can you name the top 5 service ace leaders in the VNL for the men's?
Okay, let's bang off some real quick ones. Let's go Simeon Nikolov.
Yep, he's up there.
How about, let's just go Alex Nikolov.
He's not there. No, Alex Nikolov is not there.
I just know that serving duo, disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Especially when they have them actually just serving back to back. It's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
that's actually not fair.
No, that's brutal for other teams.
He has 5, actually. And Moni has 8. And it's kind of funny, I'll just tell you now, the top 5, they all share 8 aces.
So it's really a top, name the top 5, but they're all tied for number 1.
Yeah, they all have 8.
Okay, that is pretty funny. Who else has been serving it up? How about Marlon Yent from Cuba?
No. Yant has 6, though. So he's almost there, though.
Yeah, he's getting close.
Yeah.
How about Philip John from Germany?
Philip John from Germany also has 8.
Okay. Everyone, I guess, will have 8.
Correct.
Who else has a good serve? Oh, Gabby Garcia had a good serving week.
He just missed out. He also has 6.
Is Tupchi from Ukraine there? I think he lit it up versus the U.S.
He did light it up against the U.S. He also has 8. 2 more.
Why didn't I think about this just like for the women's? How about Miura from Japan?
No, Miura is not there. Miura has 5 as well.
Dang it.
Just missed out.
It's the other big server from Japan. How about Kai?
Kai also had 6.
Oh my god, why does everyone have 6? Who else lit it up versus us?
You're only going based off of the people that did it against the U.S.
Yeah.
There is one that did light it up against the U.S. actually. I'm pretty sure.
What was it? Was it Amin from Iran? I know he had a bunch.
It was not Amin, but there was someone else from Iran that lit up the U.S.
Poria?
Poria's there. Poria's there with 8 aces. He had 3 against the U.S.
There you go. Just gotta go.
And then one more.
One more. Who else is serving like that right now? How's Romano from Italy?
Romano is not there. Romano had 5 as well.
Oh my god, it's so close already. Dang.
Yeah. I will tell you, for opening game, This guy absolutely destroyed, and he had 5 service aces. So that's why he. That's
God.
why he has 8.
Oh, wow.
He had a crazy game.
5 in one game?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know if I remember anyone doing that. It might be someone I didn't watch. It might be a game I didn't watch.
It's Mendarachi.
Mendarachi from Turkey.
Yeah,
I didn't realize you were like that.
Yeah, he destroyed China.
Ah, I knew it.
Yeah, he had 24 points against China, 17 kills, 2 blocks, and then he had 5 aces.
5 aces there.
Yeah, he did not let them breathe.
All right. So I think that brings us to the end of this week's episode. It's been a fun one. We had a lot to talk about, covering 2 weeks of VNL, but we'll be back again next week to just cover the men's week 2. Hopefully very interesting as well. Hopefully see some good things, especially from the US, playing at home. But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you made it this far in the video. We are super excited to be covering the VNL. We're super excited that it's going to be played in the US this week. And if you have any thoughts on the VNL, let us know what you're thinking. If you want us to cover anything when it comes to NCAA for the women's, or recover anything that happened in the NCAA men's season, let us know in the comment section. And we'll see you guys next time.